Hey everyone, welcome back to Fed Up with me, the eternal miserable one. Fed Up guys joining me today are Brian, vocals for Kryptoxik Mortality, Kaleb
Yo.
up the top right there, bassist, and Kaleb at the bottom left. Could you just give us a shout?
Yeah, guitar player.
Guitar player, there we go. How is it going, guys?
Great.
It's going killer.
Pretty fucking good.
Yeah, same here. Pretty chilled, man. Pretty chilled. I've been stoked about this one for quite a while, so I'm very, very excited to get into this for sure. So, got to jump straight in there, man. I read a bit about who did the artwork, but did you give them total free reign? You know, did they go away and just come up with their interpretation on your music, or did you send them a couple of tracks first and say, go have a listen, see what you come up with?
No, not with this artist. He actually made it on his own. So,
whoa, nice.
Yeah, we work with a lot of different artists. So we kind of sometimes we have them draw stuff, and then at other times we just kind of keep an eye on what they're doing. So, kind of a little bit of both so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one we got like right after he made it. He made it, and we saw it a day later, and we picked it up. So.
I really like the you've kind of got that like Lovecraft and mixed with kind of like sci-fi horror all melded together, and indeed I see that in some of the song titles as we'll get to. So it's a really sick cover, and I like even you've got it in the background there, like the sky opening up as well, sure. like a vortex.
Yeah, cover really caught us. It felt like it had its own vibe to it. You know?
Yeah. It's almost. Sorry, go on.
I was just saying it's a little bit different from a lot of our other covers. So
it's almost as if it's like paraphrasing the album in a way for the oncoming onslaught, because you have the nice intro without a dimensional gateway, and then it starts, you know, fetid human incubation. I guess is like your opener. So was the particular arrangement that you chose for the album, you know, for the tracks, did you arrange them in a particular sequence?
Yes. We did put them all in a certain way to where we felt like it fit the right vibe, like the flow and everything. So
we kind of like to tell a story with the order of the tracks, if that makes sense. Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it's kind of like a concept almost, you know.
Nice.
So for me, I like looking at the artwork, and then from there I kind of look at it like, all right, what would make sense for a song title here? You know, you've got fetid human incubation, you've got ingesting the wretched, because, you know, in one of them toward the bottom, I don't have the photo pulled up, but I believe it's bottom right. You've got the kind of melted corpse. Yeah. Almost looks like he's eating something. So I was like, ooh, that would be really good there. So it's kind of like a whole vibe, like Kaleb was saying, from the artwork, and then that's kind of where we pull the names.
Yeah, This is what I've liked with brutal death and slam bands recently. I mean, Wormed is a good example of this as well. I like how you guys are taking that kind of sci-fi horror and cosmic side, melding it, you know, with the gore as well. And I mean, I'm a colossal nerd, so that just catches me straight away. But it's like almost, if this makes sense, like giving it a shout out to Alex. Hey Alex, good to see you again, man. It's almost giving it like this outer-worldly, heavy stomping moshness. So it just flows so well with the atmosphere. So could you tell us a little bit how you came up with the inspiration for fetid human incubation? I'm going to do a deep dive, take us through each track.
Okay, so for me, you know, we're sitting here thinking about the fact that it's like this colossal just destruction, right? So, you know, fetid, you know, decomposing, and that was actually came from Kaleb up there, that word, and he made the suggestion, and I was like, okay, so let's see, you know, we've got fetid, so these are like decomposing bodies, right? And, you know, incubation, it's literally like, you know, like so for our last album, right? I had I'm trying to remember the name of the song. It'd be easier if I had them pulled up, but it was Embryonic Metamorphosis, right? That was all about the face huggers from Alien. So I kind of like to continue with like an Alien-esque theme, And for me, it's like literally the interdimensional kind of creatures are actually incubating inside of these decomposing human bodies. And that's what causes them to kind of like pop out and just continue their mass extinction of humankind.
And I love it. Fantastic sci-fi horror. Absolutely dig it. So when you were with that idea in mind, and then did you come up with the title after that? You know, you've worked through the music, got the lyrics there. Did the title then come after?
Yeah. Yes, he does. He goes off of the vibe of everything. Like, we'll work out the instrumental, and then he'll take that, and then he'll, we all look at the artwork and stuff and try to work off of the same vibe together. And then, he kind of carries it from there.
Yeah, it's all a team effort. Like all of us kind of, like I said, everybody writes their part. And then once the part's out, I kind of just stare at it and I'm like, okay, I really like this here. Let's look at the artwork. Oh shit, this has this particular portion in the artwork. This name would go really well here. And then I just send like this list of like umpteen names to all of them. And they're like, ooh, we like this one. Ooh, we like this one. Maybe not this one, And then everybody kind of agrees and we all just go off of the vibe.
Yeah, work together, definitely.
So it's very much a natural process, what you're all feeling.
Yes.
And they say, man, this would really work. This one goes with the heaviness. I mean, that is good. It's all coming together naturally there. Is there ever any moments where you feel, oh, man, you've maybe already chosen a title and thought, right, that's fine, and then got another song and thought, no, this actually goes better?
It happens all the time with me because I'm very much a perfectionist. So whenever I look at my titles, I'm like, man, I could have done something different there. And even after we released the album, like I'll listen to them like, fuck, that sounds really good. But like, what if I had done this here? And that's why I love the fact that we push out as much music as we do, because, it goes from that opportunity where I'm like, I could have tried this. I'm like, oh, guess what? We've got something else coming out soon. I'll try it in this one. It's kind of a trial and error thing for me.
Exactly. Just keep writing and keep moving forward all the time.
So it's just editing, taking out what you think's not going to work, or maybe using in another area, or even putting something aside and we can use this for a future release.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really cool, man. No, I can tell there's a lot of time has gone into this album. So I really enjoyed it. I think I mentioned to you, Brian, yesterday. I'm going to be fanboying so much. I've gone through my six listen through already. So
that's fucking sick, man. Thank you.
No, you're very welcome, dude. Literally, it's got that nice stomping pit feel. Like I just love for someone to throw me around in a pit to it, or do a stairwell pit butt dive, jump off somebody. People thinking, what questionable activities does he do? But that's the whole of the show.
Crazy live setup, especially between Brian and Kaleb over here diving over the stage.
Man.
Been pretty active.
So I'll like randomly go out in the crowd and just like start getting decked in the pit, and then I'm just like, oh fuck, that hurt. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
Really
fucking
bad.
we opened for Stabbing and Defeated Sanity, man, and it was like my first time I just got my wireless mic, so I was like, yeah. And shout out to John from Necrotic Orbeez, because I asked him, I was like, bro, what mic do you use? Because I really want to start getting more active, because I fucking hate just standing on a stage, man. I feel so confined. So I was like, yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, dude, and you could get in the pit and you could throw down, and I was like, man, I'm like $135, so if I get hit, it's gonna fucking hurt. And sure enough, the first fucking time I go, I catch a spin kick to the side of my fucking head in the middle of in the middle of our set, and I was like, oh man, but it was worth it.
I tell you, man, I never thought my training would come in so handy for pits in my life before. I thought I'd get more kind of like practice at break falls, etc., dodging blows or whatever than I do it training. But it's all good fun, and I like the fact there's one of your videos where it's really got that, it shows that interactive feel. You're all getting in there in the crowd, and you can see and feel that mosh intensity. And I'm getting amped up talking about this, but it's so fantastic, that stuff. And I like the fact, Brian, that you said you like to get out there, get involved, because there's nothing worse sometimes. And look, and it's not that they're bad musicians or anything, but you know, sometimes when you see a band and it's just, there's no soul there, there's no interactivity, it's just play, and then literally that's it. I always feel like I've been robbed a bit then when I get to those shows. Like, man, come on.
I agree.
There's no interaction. I go away bored, and I'm like, especially if it's a high energy mosh band as well, whether it's death slam, deathcore, hardcore, grind, whatever. If there's none of that interactive presence and we're all feeling that energy from each other, I'm like, well, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah, I agree. Brian's really good at connecting like that. I mean, he puts it all in. So
it's all about showmanship for me, man, and for the whole band. Like, you know, all of us actively work on our stage presence, and we try to make sure, like for all of us, man, crowd interaction is huge. We talk to the crowd, we crack jokes, you know, we make sure that they understand that, like, we're here not to show off and not to be like, oh, we can do this, we can do that. We're here to be like, all right, motherfuckers, for the next 30 minutes, we own this shit. We want, you know, if we say, hey, yo, hop up on the stage, you know, hop up on the stage, throw down, do some vocals. I mean, not our last show, but the one before that, we had fucking like 10, 15 people up there for Indica Infused Decimation. And all of them took 15 seconds and threw down on vocals throughout the song. And it was sick.
Yeah. And we all care about how everything affects the crowd. So if we think about that, even when we're actually writing stuff, just energy and movement of everything, you know, we think of that start of the writing. So
you've got to have that interactivity because you want people to come back and see you again. And it's all, I know now we've got so many ways we can market and promo, but word of mouth is still a good thing because there's always someone who hasn't heard of whatever band it is who you can turn them on to and say, oh, look, man, I was at this Kryptoxik Mortality show the other night. This was sick, dude. You've got to go down and check it or whatever. So if that band, you know, just gone like, oh, man, I can't be fucking ass tonight. Go, yeah, this sucked. That's not going to encourage those people to come back or anyone to even bother checking out the band. And it's sometimes I feel some bands don't do them justice in that response because they can be good, but yet it's almost just like watching them rehearse live. There's nothing
Exactly. You can be the best band in the world. You can have the fucking sickest CD out there, but if you just stand around like a fucking bump on the log live, people are gonna be like, "Oh man, the music's really good, but fuck, I really wish they'd move," you know, or like where's the participation? And you know, I'm not knocking any bands because everybody has their own style. It's just for us in particular, showmanship is huge. We want people to be like, "Man, fuck, did you see the fact that they're, you know, those motherfuckers came dressed as a T-Rex at their last show?" Like, you know, did you see the fact that they're like their bassists and their guitarists are just like all into their music, like they can feel that shit.
Yeah, it's hard not to like move around. Like standing still is impossible for me. Like even when we are rehearsing, like I'm still moving around there just because the music's so much fun to play. Like I've played in bands for like 10 years, but this is like the one that I have just like the most kickback, relaxed, just chill time with. Just getting to throw in on the bass. I love it.
It's chemistry, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is, man.
Doing a great job live too. I mean, Kaleb definitely gets into the vibe. Even in the band room, man, we just it's chemistry. This whole band has a good vibe together. So
if you get the right kind of people around you and you can share that energy with yourselves before you even get live, that fun, you can go back and forth even in the creative process, like you were mentioned earlier, Brian. This is going to work. Okay, we need to remove this. Look, this would make a great opener live. This would work at the midway point through the album, outro, whatever it is. That's something special to hold on to because not every band has that or can do that. And it's something you can build on and keep stronger. And totally with you, Kaleb bass. It's just helped me differentiate. Music, it's funny, man. I was talking to just before you guys, I was talking to Chaos Doctrine from South Africa, death metal band, and I was on about we were on about different forms of metal and punk and hardcore and stuff. And I was saying, look, dude, I like a lot of music, but my favorites are brutal death, slam, grindcore, crustpunk, D-beat, power violence, hardcore. And I know there's all the subgenres of hardcore as well. I said very much raw, insanely fast stuff as well, or very, very heavy. Even some sludge for that reason. Not always the fast, but it's the heavy and rawness with it as well. And we were saying how sometimes people can be all the metalheads or punks, like, how can you like something that heavy? How can you like it? And I'm like, it's really hard to explain unless you're in it. For me, the only way and I tried to describe it earlier to him, and hopefully I'm doing a decent job here, but it's just that feeling it gives you, and it's the heaviness of it. It's just the heaviness. It's that sheer brutality and ferocity, the blast beats, the huge breakdowns. It's just got the mosh feels. It is absolutely the most beautiful, thunderous, intense music in the world for letting off steam to, and highly enjoyable. So I definitely, my long-winded rant here, Caleb, base of why you certainly can't stand still whether you're playing this stuff or there at a show, in my opinion, anyway.
I'm gonna say one thing I notice about this style is people end up into it more after they see it live. Like, whenever I get somebody to go to a concert, they have a whole different view on heavy stuff. It's the energy, you know what I mean? I don't know if there's any other style that really gets that high of an energy.
We've had like rappers come to our show and stuff like that, and they're like, one of them came up and was like, bro, like, that was nuts. I've never seen anything like that. He's like, you were just talking to me and like you were like the chillest dude in the world, and then you guys all hopped on stage and we were like, what the fuck? And, you know? He was like, I've never seen anything like that. He bought like some shirts. He had to sign them, and just like super cool, down to earth guys. And we were just like, wow, you know, and like that kind of solidified what Caleb had been talking about. Because from the start, Caleb in particular, you know, he was like, you guys got to understand, like, there's a vibe to everything. And, you know, it took me a little while to understand that, but like, there really is, man. The way you write the songs, the way they're constructed, it's all a vibe. And, you know, that's one of the things that I really admire about, you know, Caleb on guitar, is that he was able to kind of show us all that from the start.
Yeah, and then you can project that vibe out there to the fans and in the music as well. And again, I just backs up. Yeah, go on, dude.
Yeah, definitely. Brian's been killing it on that for the vocals. He's like the bridge connection to everything, right? I mean, but his vibe really matches his whole style of writing and everything. We feel like really fits our band. So like, we all fit together really great, chemistry wise. Yeah, especially live too. You know, like
I've got a couple of follow-up questions, actually, Brian. So it's going to be a loaded one on what you said. I thought it's interesting you mentioned some rappers there were even getting into it. Ross, who I co-hosted the show with over at Planet X Films, he used to be an underground hip-hop MC, and he'd do all the battle rap stuff as well. Got out quite a few albums. And I thought, if you take a battle rap performance or even a real hip-hop show, I'm not about the mainstream commercial stuff, and you look at the rawness they have when they're spitting the floors.
When they're spitting,
Yeah, it has a similar vibe as slam and beatdown.
It
as
does.
Well. Musically different, but the energy.
Energy and the flow.
Yeah. It is, yes. I 100% agree. And I mean, personally, you know, and there may be some people that disagree with me about this, but dude, I fucking love, like, you know, like underground rap, man. Me too, like, I love that shit. You know, there's a whole, like you said, there's a whole vibe to that shit, man. And it does. I think it very much so matches the vibe of slam. You know, there's that flow, there's that cadence, you know, it kind of matches.
I mean, Peeling Flesh, they sampled a bunch of different rap inside and then just go straight into slams. But like, sometimes
and it fits
like
so fucking well.
Just hard hitting. It speaks to its own. Yeah.
I wish if Ross was around now, I'd bring him on just to get his perspective on just what you've said there, because man, he went under the name VX Heaven's Assassin, and he worked with some cats like Hellraiser, did collabs with Killer Priest, Chino XL, all of those cats. Man, he even did a track with Kane Ibis too, and you can kind of tell he's a metalhead as well, because he has that fierceness in his vocals, very, very hardcore. And it's pretty obvious that he's got other musical leanings. And I think with slam as well, if you take even some of the slower breakdown parts and when the drums come in, an MC could spit over that quite easily on that part. Really get the crowd pumping up. That would be sick stuff, man. I'm not suggesting not putting ideas forward, but
yeah, right. Kryptoxik Mortality rap album. Let's go.
Yeah. But with that said, I've always thought as well, slam, even deathcore to a point, but especially slam, it's one of those genres that I feel is very good at crossing over, because you get lots of hardcore fans love it for the breakdowns, the mosh intensity as well. Then, of course, you can draw in from the brutal death crowd as well, and then even grindcore heads as well, and death grinders coming in. So it feels like one of those versatile genres that you can cross over in some of those other directions as well and bring together. So with that said, Brian, would you ever be interested in maybe, on future releases crossing over into any of those areas, or bringing in different elements, or even an MC spitting on a track?
I'll be honest with you. For me, it kind of depends on what the whole band wants to do. But for me, I have been thinking about adding different styles of vocals into our music. But here's the thing with me: it has to match what we're doing. It can't just kind of be so off kilter that it's kind of like, what the fuck did he just do that? And then people are like, that's not slam, and then I'm just like, So for me, I want it to match what we're doing, and I want it to keep us kind of in that pocket with the people that enjoy our music. But dude, I want like for example, are you familiar with Invirulent?
Yes, I am.
Dude, Virulent just did a fucking Waka Flocka thing, and that shit fucking crushed, man.
Yeah.
And then their last one, The Death of Slam, dude, these guys are on a whole nother level, and they are, to me, dude, I fucking love them, man. And big shout out to Brandon. He's the fucking homie, and I love what they're doing with that, because they have crossed over. Just like Peeling Flesh. Kaleb mentioned they've got those those rap intros, but dude, their cadences, man. If you listen to the vocals and the guitar and just the whole damn thing. Like, they have hit this mixture of hardcore, rap, beatdown, and they fucking crush. Like, they nailed their niche so well, and I would love to be able to do that in the future.
Yeah. It adds those layers and gives you some options. And as you said, I think as long as you all keep like that core essence. So then it's like, as you said, people aren't having a migraine thinking, what the fuck, man, this isn't slam or whatever. It's got that the spirit of what you are and what you're playing and what the style is. Then yeah, man. Have you heard of the band Crocofile?
Oh, dude, yes. Oh yeah,
dude, they're good. Yeah. They're hilarious as well.
Dude, they're freaking insane, man. Like they had I'm trying to remember the artwork, but they had like fucking Godzilla dunking on a motherfucker, I think. And I'm just sitting there looking at it like, dude, this is gold, man. And I actually was just like, they just put out a live video of one of their shows they played recently, and I was looking at it like probably about 2 hours before this started, and I was like, man, these Michigan boys know how to fucking throw down, dude. Like, I would love to play a show with Crocofile.
I think that would be so much fun as well. I mean, you could have Godzilla stage diving. Mature in a bunch, you get people dressed as raptors running around in a circle.
Yeah, dude.
Into each other. It's just, go on, Brian.
I was saying, like, a Monomarth has like that fucking rowboat pit. You put a fucking like kaiju pit down.
Yeah.
Bunch of people running around in Godzilla and T-Rex costumes, dude.
Big old dinosaur mosh pit.
Yeah, dino mosh pit, dude.
Man, that would be so funny. It really would. Just to, I'll turn back to your own music just for a moment or two. The next track after Fetid Human Incubation, Impending Monolithic Desolation. Now, man, talk about a sound for the apocalypse, and with that title as well. So could you tell us a little bit about how you all put the music together for that one, and a bit of the inspiration and influences behind the lyrics and the song title?
Yes. So, of course, the guys do their part. So I'm going to leave that one for Kaleb real quick to talk about kind of the riffs for that one.
Sure. Well, we usually just build through the whole album as we write, like kind of like vibe wise or flow wise, what we need next. So like if one song ends really slow on more of a breakdown, we'll try to come in more aggressive on the next song for sure. I mean, we really try to think about the flow of the album, even as well as live or whatever we're doing for set list. So, but yeah, a lot of the music we write together, and then he writes a lot of lyrics over it and does his thing. So, and then we hook up and everything. So,
But for that in particular, for the whole album, man, we wanted to create this chaotic, like end time, fucking brutal, heavy, vibe. And I personally, I think we succeeded. Like the whole thing is it's apocalyptic, man. Like there's really not a lot of breaks. There's really not a lot of slowdowns. I mean, other than those fucking cavernous caveman riffs and shit. But the whole thing, it kind of leads, like each song segues into the next so perfectly, in my opinion. But for Impending Monolithic Desolation, like once again, in the photos or in the album art, you just see like this just fucking chaos, man. Like buildings are crumbling, statues are fucking destroyed, and that kind of spoke to me. So I was like, dude, right now this could be like the calm before the storm, and then it leads, like the very beginning of it, and it leads into this fucking just absolute just chaotic brutalness, right? So that's kind of where it hit me with that.
That's the song with the angel too, right?
Yes, yeah, dude. Angel Ochoa. Oh my God, man. We sent him that track. We asked him to do it, and he was just so chill about it, and he absolutely fucking crushed it, man.
He's about half of the track. If you really listen, they're trading off through the whole thing. It's a lot of back and forth on the vocals. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs on there, honestly. It's really,
It's funny you mention like it's got that trade off for them going back and forth. It kind of come across like two people in MMA in a cage are literally going back and forth sparring. That was kind of the feels it got, or like we were saying, underground hip hop, two MCs literally coming back and forth at each other. It had those feels.
That's a rap battle feel, right? But
hell yeah.
Yep. That was the goal, to capture both of our styles in a very just aggressive, just straightforward a way to just to kind of to keep the song going, man. And that one in particular, I agree, that's one of my favorites. And it's so fucking crushing the way him and I just feed off of each other's energy in the song. And kudos to him, because he's such a monster, man. Angel and Maddie Way are like my two top, man. They're just, oh my God, man. They are the reason I became a vocalist. And to capture even a fraction of those two skill and to be able to present something to people where like they even attempt to compare what we've done to them. Sorry, my hand was shaking a little bit there. My bad.
That's all right.
And just overall, man, just the trade-off in that, it creates such a sick, like you said, it creates like a battle vibe almost. And think about it, impending monolithic destruction, right? And it's literally just this absolute destruction and this just absolute fucking just cataclysm of events, to me, is kind of what it was written out to be.
Yeah, and if we take that vision further, you think if that was actually happening, and say you've got two opposing forces, or the leader of each opposing army or whatever, and two of them, the high-ranking warriors or whatever, are having this battle while there's all of this happening. Well, that's the kind of feels it's got. So, open question to you all here: is this what has attracted you to playing slam? Is the I feel that unique feel and energy that it has? I'm not saying other music doesn't have that, but there's just something about slam that I feel if you get it, if you get into it.
Yes.
Is that what attracted you to play this particular style?
For me, I love the riffs. I love the way the drums are rapid fire, the blast beats, the bass end, the low end, just it complements the riffs so well. And to me, I really love the cavernous caveman style riffs. Like I always have. I'm if you're familiar with Texas death metal, right? There's fucking Putrid Womb. Putrid
awesome
Wombs, they're so good. And I grew up in the TXDM scene. Eventually I moved from Texas to Washington, and they just had like this perfect, in my opinion, this perfect blend. And watching the guys in Kryptoxik kind of build our own sound, because if you listen to our music, we don't really sound like any of the other slam bands out there. We have our own kind of niche that we have strived to create. There's elements of technicality, there's the caveman riffs, there's all this different stuff that we tried to do to set us apart. But
I do agree, slam has kind of a certain vibe, just like if you are into brutal tech or something that's really fast, it has its own vibe too, right? I think slam to me is like the fast and the slow together a lot. There's a lot of slow, chunky breakdowns people got to slam, right? Like to really just pounding that shit out in the pit, you know? So I got into slam since pretty much Devourment started on their first
album. Awesome. Yeah.
I just fucking monsters.
I watched it all come into play, and I wanted to play this style for years and years, but I didn't have the right lineup for it. So, so when it finally came into play, I was pretty pumped. Got all these guys.
Yeah, I gotta say, ever since I started getting into metal when I was younger, I was always looking for that what's heavier, what's faster, what's the deepest vocals. And when I stumbled upon slam, it was just fucking everything I was looking for. And getting to play it, like our song Monument of Depravity, I believe. It just starts out just like a crushing as fast as you can go. And then the next riff, it just like slows down and just.
It's almost as slow as right? It's like from as fast as you're going to as slow as you're going.
Yeah, like the other Caleb was saying, having the fast and then the slow put together with like the grooves, like the polyrhythmic grooves that just like shake it up and make you want to shake your butt, you know? Like that's
exactly what it is.
Things to play. Like that's
got a few videos of people actually dancing in the middle of the pit, and it's
dude.
Like, you can get down to that.
They're just fucking, man, dude. Like slam just has a whole different vibe, man. Especially live, dude. Like to me, like I have respect for any and all genres of death metal and brutal shit in general. But dude, slam in particular, that just grabs everybody by the fucking whatever they got, you know, and it just does not fucking let go.
There's something, as you said, there's something primal about it. There's something raw. There's just this feeling. There's the energy. There's the most energy. It's like, okay, right. So you're at a death show, yeah? We say we can have the HM2, brutal death, tech death, whatever, melodic death, thrash. Come on, and you get a slam band. But flows so well with beatdown hardcore. I'm always saying to beatdown hardcore cats look get into slam as well. Right. It's literally like the death metal version of that. I mean that in a good way. And when the slam band comes on or a beatdown band on, you know it's mosh time, it's pit time. There's just something happens in the air where it's like, I can't stand still to this stuff, and you've just got to get down to it. And it's the same reason as I was saying, I think I said off air, I used to do radio shows exactly for this music, mixed with a lot of other raw and intense styles. And I would go from, say, annihilating someone's eardrums with grindcore for, say, 90 minutes, 2 hours. Some of the shows were 5 hours long. So that's how, much punishment people got.
That's fucking sick.
Oh man, I keep talking with the idea to do them again at some point. Finding the time, maybe put out a podcast of all this stuff. But it like I said, it's that intensity. You've got, look, I like, for the same reasons you've said, I love the brutal drums that come in the riffs, even the slow parts, which is still insanely heavy. Even if it's not fast, you've still got to get down. There was a band from, I don't think they're active anymore, there was a band from Japan called Blunt Force Trauma, and they used to have, they used to have some absolute killer fucking mosh parts and riffs where you've just got to get down there, man. They were killer, and it's that feeling. It's like, as you were saying earlier, people say, well, what is it? And I said, it's just a feeling. It's like, I have the same feeling with grindcore, really raw, fast grindcore. I said, it's the intensity and speed. People say, well, like, some of your songs are only like, the song's like only under a minute. I'm like, it's just that short in with it. And it's like with slam, it's the same feeling, but then on another level as well. It like just takes it, man, up on one. I'm fanboying out here. it's there'll be people watching this and be like this dude interviews all these different kinds of music, and they'll be watching this like, we can't tell this guy's into the more extreme ends too much. Wonder why. So coming to the next song on there, Ingesting the Wretched. This has good horror vibes that could go easily with any horror movie, the sci-fi horror as well, if we think of a creature or even something hellish as well. So again,
that's actually coming out. It's going to be our next release. before the full album drops. So
Oh
it's
man,
released.
That's my favorite one on the whole album.
And there's actually a video coming with it, and it does have creatures on it, and
oh whoa.
the blood running down through the video, and so it's a pretty
Pretty
awesome.
sick.
So did someone put that video together especially, and did you work with them on saying, look, we're happy with these effects, this is what we want to show?
Yes, we have a normal video guy that we always work with pretty much. He's listed on everything we put out so far. So,
yeah, he's a fucking beast, dude.
He's awesome. Just stick with him. He works with everybody on every level. So I mean, yeah, it's we haven't had any reason to go anywhere else, honestly. Second guy we worked with, but then we just stayed.
So just like the song, if people watch the video, you think it's definitely one that's going to make them shit themselves?
Yes.
It's really awesome.
Right answer.
The answer is yes.
Yay.
That video fucking, yeah, dude. We've all seen it, and it just it captures everything about Ingesting the Wretched, man. It's such a fucking good video.
Video fits perfectly,
yeah.
So with that said about the creatures, what influenced this one?
So for that one, dude, I just so like you said, I'm a big fucking nerd, dude. So like anything when it comes to like aliens and shit like that, you know, I'm imagining so like you know the giant kind of like portal or like ingress up at the very top on the opening in the sky on the right hand side.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like I'm imagining like those creatures were coming out of that hole, and like at this point in time they've just been laying fucking waste to the world, right? So for Ingesting the Wretched, at this point, they're just eating the poor souls that never fucking managed to escape.
Yeah.
So like this is just like mass fucking carnage at this point.
Yeah. Oh,
and that's what the song's about. It's literally about like no matter what you do, there it is right there. There you go. You can kind of see it, but that's
Oh, dude, do you know what they remind me of? And depending on how you answer this, I apologize if now I all of a sudden jump out the chair, which I've got a feeling I'm gonna do. Those creatures look like the Gene Stealers from Warhammer 40,000, which can literally rip people apart.
Oh yeah,
I fucking love Warhammer, dude.
Oh, dude.
You see the new Space Marine? Not the tangent, but like the new Space Marine game. Yes, I can't wait till it drops.
That looks so sick. That looks so sick, man. 40. Oh, that's it. You've got a fan for life now. Literally, all you need to do is
we appreciate it.
Literally, if you just put on the front cover, this has a 40k influence somewhere, they've been like,
right? They'll be like, oh shit, what?
Isn't that universe, man? I know there's the famous bolt throw, but I keep saying this to people, that universe is so built for extreme metal, especially death metal and the extreme ends of that, because it's such an R-rated universe. Literally everything is trying to kill each other. The Gene Stealers, I mean, man, think these like huge humanoid creatures, aliens with like 4 arms, and those claws can rip through Space Marines' power armor.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, dude, these things can literally rip you apart, and then the whole created from gestating inside someone.
It's the video, man. There's like arms floating and stuff in there.
Oh man,
body parts.
Dude, I've always felt because GW come down hard on people that do content unofficially on them. And I think, didn't they get the guy who did the Astartes short films? I think he's doing stuff for them now for their animation. I don't know if you've ever seen that. This guy.
I don't think I have.
Oh, after the show, I'll send you the link, man. He did this short feature of some Space Marines fighting Chaos Marines and like a Chaos Sorcerer guy on the ship.
That's fucking sick.
It's pretty grimy, man. And I've just thought that, like I said, that universe is built so well for it. And if GW could open up a little bit more, I feel in that area, there's a plethora of bands that could make really killer extreme music on all the shit that happens in that.
I agree. I agree. But so back to your question real quick. In
sorry
particular,
about that.
no, you're good. You're good. With Ingesting the Wretched, though, that that's kind of where we wanted to go with it. The whole song is based on pretty much just these creatures coming out of the sky, and they're just pretty much wreaking havoc. They're eviscerating, they're destroying, they're eating, they're doing what they can at this point, because like when this hole tore in the sky, like it was a feeding frenzy pretty much, and that's what Ingesting the Wretched was about.
Man, that's killer. It's already making me think. I know I'm going on more 40k tangents. Is like when the hive fleets from the Tyranids, and and they unleash on a planet, and they literally consume everything, and then move on to another world.
Yep, that's what they do.
What I mean, man, it's oh man, that's absolutely killer. So was it the same with the music? You went on the field and again got that together.
Yes.
Yep, all of us kind of came together and we were like, "Hey, how about this name? How about this name?" I think that particular song went through about 6 or 7 names before we finally agreed on it. So it's just that's what we do. We just take like a shit ton of names. We all kind of come together, spitball. I send them what I have, they send me what they have, and then we're just like, "Ooh, this one, Ingesting the Wretched. This one works." Sorry about all the other names that you took time to think about. Fuck those, but this one's perfect.
Sometimes they work for stuff later, though. So
exactly. We save the names, and in the event that it matches what we're doing next, we're like, "Oh fuck, we had that name. Let's do that."
Yeah, exactly. It's what you feel is gonna go best. It's a good problem to have. It's better than having like writer's block, where it's either I can't think of anything or just do not like what I'm writing or playing at all. That's a horrible problem. So,
what also helps is the fact that we have this ungodly amount of artwork, man. And that's due to Kaleb. That he's always planning ahead. And he's like, "Ooh, this one looks fucking sick. What do you guys think of this?" And then we get it. So we've got like all this artwork. So anytime we come up with a name, we can go back to that artwork whenever we're getting ready to release something, and we can be like, "Oh shit, here, this will go with this one."
Yeah, like we have our next album cover already. So
really?
Already, man. Yeah, it's already ready to go.
I think we already 1 or 2 songs towards it, but we're still, we still work them out a little bit. We're not in a rush, but we're constantly writing, so we always work on stuff. Even if we just dropped an album yesterday, like if we got ideas today, then we're writing again either way.
Well, so
keep the flow,
That's really awesome to hear, though. So you've constantly got material there ready, ideas. And that's good for going forward. You're never going to be short of stuff. Going back to we'll come back to obviously the the forthcoming album, which we're talking about. But I have to mention this because I thought it was hilarious, and I think I saw a shirt regarding this. Possibly, I think it was on your Facebook page, and that's to one of your earlier albums, EP, sorry, Trash Compactor Orgy. Probably don't think I'm going to mention the 4th track.
No, that's fine, man. That's one of my look. I don't care what anyone says. That whole EP is a fucking gem, dude. The names, the lyrics, all of it. It's so good.
Yeah, our drummer actually named the track that's on the back. The one that everybody can't say.
The dump truck bleep bleep. That one. That one. That was all Joseph, man. Joseph, he just had this idea, and I think he'd had it for a while, and he dropped it, and we were all just like, yes. There was no debate. We were just like, yes, that's the one. Yes. And then we threw it on the shirt, and we're just like, man, dude, I can't wait till we actually start selling them.
Yeah,
it's a good conversation opener with people, isn't it? Would go nice. Handle it.
They see the shirt and they're like, does that say dump? Oh, that's what that says. And then there's like all the bodies and shit decomposing on the front, and they're just like, oh.
Do you think
a little bit of crazy stuff going on up there?
Yes. If you actually get the shirt and you take a look at it, there's some shit. Literally.
Alternative artwork.
That was our so for us, we kind of liked it. We like to keep it fresh. We like to mix it up. We don't like to kind of release the same thing over and over and over again. We like to kind of take different aspects from what we like. There's the underground slam, which is just that grotesque, nasty fucking shit. And for us, that was like, we just did a kind of alien type album. We were like, let's do something that's going to keep people like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? And that was the vibe we got, and we were like, cool, we succeeded.
It keeps them guessing, doesn't it?
Our EPs have been starting to go towards other stuff. It seems like our full albums now will be towards alien stuff, and then our EPs now will switch subjects on just to drop 3 songs out and do something totally out of nowhere to mix it up a little bit. That way,
it stops it getting boring for you as well.
Yeah, and it's just a break in between albums, because you just write songs, you just get into the vibe. It's a little lower stress than writing a full album, so it's
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier, let's just play with different styles too.
Yeah.
You know, we could be like, all right, cool, we want to write something that's a little more technical. All right, cool. All right, this is just going to be straight fucking caveman.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be very primal and it's going to be in your fucking face. You know, that's what Indica was. Indica and, you know, the whole album, fucking Genocidal Strain, you know, or the EP, I'm sorry. You know, those 3 songs were very, very just slam structured, you know, and that was what we wanted. We wanted this vibe, and that's what we do. Everything we do is based off of a vibe and how we think it's going to hit the audience.
Yeah, and some of those best moments in that can come from a vibe. And the other thing I like with slam as well is, and this is definitely on there with Trash Compactor Orgy, is the exact exaggerated humor as well. When I was talking to Alex and JP from the Neurotic Gore Beast a couple of weeks ago, and there's one particular track on their new album that's going to be dropping soon. And he knew I was going to ask it, and I was laughing already. And when we got to the moment, we started laughing straight away. It was masturbated to death.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude. But this is a thing. People, I think, you know, maybe don't know this style of music or haven't got into slam before, or maybe, and I'm not bashing anyone, you know, who's into the regular ends or whatever. They could maybe get the wrong idea, but I'm saying, look, it's really over the top, exaggerated humor. It's all done for the giggles. And I remember on that show, I think it was JP, who was telling me a lot of those song titles were crazy enough, found from real world stories as well. There's like some dude had literally done that, and I thought, man, what a way to go.
I remember it was on my Facebook like a couple years ago, and I remember it was just like, hey, this dude masturbated this amount of times, and he didn't make it. And I was reading the comments, and it was like, okay, so 7 times, and I'm good. And I was just like, oh my god. I was like, bro, what?
Gives a whole new meaning to DIY, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, I'm all for DIY and things, but I mean that's taken to the extreme. But that's what's hilarious as well. You can get those comedy moments like Crocofile, who I mentioned earlier. There's like the fun wrestling kind of vibe there as well, and you know, and pro wrestling is very over exaggerated, over the top, choreographed stunt work and humor anyway for 4-hour entertainment. So things like that, I just love, man. I just think, man, I love that feel of it. It's the thing. I don't think it's not, the other thing as well is there's not a pretentiousness about the music either. I feel it's got an honesty about it, and a rawness. Yeah. I was just thinking of something else there. Well, Caleb sent me a private message. Yeah, all good, man. So I kind of got a bit sidetracked thinking about orgies and trash compactors and whatever.
The best kind of orgies.
Yeah. So for the next one, which is Fragmented Atmospheric Ingress. Now, this is an interesting title because this one, I feel, out of them, this really does kind of give me a sense of the horror, if you like, of being ejected into space in a way. That's kind of the visual that come to mind with me. So again, I just wondered if you all could break down how you put the music together, what inspired the track title and the lyrics as well.
Okay, so I'm a big fucking anime nerd. And so I'm assuming you've seen Bleach, correct?
Yes, fantastic.
You know, when Aizen pops out in the fake Karakura town, and the big old fucking ginormous creature appears behind him, and you can just see the eye.
Yeah.
That was my inspiration for that. Because think about it, you know, fragmented, that's the shattering of the sky. Fragmented. I'm sorry, I need the rest of the name title.
It is Fragmented Atmospheric Ingress.
Okay. There we go. So fragmented atmospheric, that's a crack in the sky, right? That's the sky itself starting to crack. And then you have the ingress, which is, you know, a doorway. Yeah. So for me, you know, it also matches with the giant swirly vortex in the sky. But for me, that was my inspiration. I'm just like, man, dude, you know, I wonder if I can get away with this name, because like the moment I saw it, I was like, I'm picturing like that scene in Bleach where Aizen fucking pops out of the sky. He's got his generals in the Iran cars, and then the giant fucking eye appears behind him, and the rest of the Soul Reapers like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining like Earth, it's already like it's already gone to shit at this point in time in the album, right? And then all of a sudden the skies crack and this huge monstrous abomination comes out, and they, you know, whoever's alive at this point, you know, a resistance, if you will, they're just looking up like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the lyrical and the lyrical inspiration for that.
Yeah, so it's like being faced with that inconceivable terror in that moment.
Yes.
It's like, what, like you said, what the hell's happened to you? What the hell is this? What I'm faced with, and then how is someone going to react? Are you literally going to shit yourself on the spot? Are you going to freeze and then probably be obliterated? Yeah, out of there, help, fight, whatever. It's interesting you mentioned that, because there was Johnny from HM2 band Heads for the Dead. I interviewed a couple of weeks ago, and his whole concept for that album, what was it? In the Absence of Faith, was kind of all about as well, various horror movies, but being faced with something that is incomprehensible, you didn't think could exist, and say it could be someone possessed and that person's trying to kill you, or it's actually, you know, this mythical creature. Yes, this does exist. And you think, man, I know I'm going off a bit now, but all those urban legends of all these mysterious creatures that are supposed to be out there that live, and people have gone missing or whatever, there's something to be said for some of them. I'm not saying about all the Bigfoot ones, because some of them look a bit suspect. So that's really interesting to hear. So with that in mind, did you all do the same with the music, go on a feeling, a vibe, and thought, right, this is the one that will fit that?
Yeah, or sometimes we'll have a name and kind of be aiming for something. It just depends. We go a little back and forth. This song is in the set. It's got more of an aggressive start.
Yeah.
And then it's got a little more of that groovy chorus that people just kind of get into. So I like the dynamics of this song. I think it's really written for live. You know, got the vibe.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. It'll be interesting the response to all of these songs live, actually. But yeah,
we're excited about that.
Yeah, that's one. I mean, I'm nerding here, but you could even have like that. You know, when you get to this song and you get back on stage from the pit, you could even have like the lights go off to emphasize that theme and mood, and then kind of like growl the title, and then goes into it. Yeah, fanboying out loud again.
We do that. Sequences are some of our stuff. We're trying to, like, our sequences are longer right now because they're from our albums and EPs, but we're working on making shorter ones, like maybe 10-15 seconds to start songs. So eventually we'll have a lot more samples in there. Like, well, pretty awesome. We're working on it right now. So
I'm excited for that. That'll definitely grip the crowd right before we start.
Yeah, we'll pull them in, give them that bit of atmosphere. It sounds like you found something here with this. You know, and I'm not patronizing any of you there. I'm not saying not to do the other stuff for the EP, but like as you say, you're going with this kind of like cosmic horror, alien vibe. Seems to be working, and I mean, hell, it's limitless opportunities with it for inspiration there as well. So,
it really is.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing. I know there's some other bands who've done, you know, like I said, they've been doing a sci-fi cosmic horror kind of thing in slam, but it does give you something a little different as well to stand out. I'm not bashing any bands, you know, I'm saying I don't like any others, but it gives you that added layer.
Sure.
I agree. It kind of like that's why I was saying earlier, everything we do, it's to try to set us apart from everybody else out there. You know, we you know, we have the bands we grew up listening to. We have mad respect for everybody on the scene. But for us, it's not about being better than anybody. It's not about being in competition. It's what can we do to be our own entity, our own thing. And that's where we really try to just be us. Like, you know, it's our own style. You know, all of us have chipped in to create Kryptoxik Mortality, and you know, the names, the songs, the artwork, all of that we do to try to set us apart from everybody else in the scene. That way they're not, oh, these guys sound like this guy. Oh, these guys sound like this guy. They're like, oh, dude, I know this song. This is Kryptoxik Mortality.
And we
do have our inspirations also, and those inspirations do play very heavily on the music we play.
And we do a lot to back all the other bands out there too. We actually love a lot of the styles from the other local bands. So it's Yeah, we, like you said, we try to be just a good mix in the middle of everything for everybody. That way we're kind of fitting in,
Yep.
you know, helping build each other up.
Yeah, we're all about that, man. Like the scene unity out here and just in general in the world, like, you know, it's all about the artist helping other artists. And that's kind of what we do. You know, we help everybody in our own way, you know. Like the scene in Washington it's so strong right now and it's fucking fantastic, man. We got bands like Neuropsychosis, Bludgeoned,
Bludgeoned,
fucking
awesome.
Stressence, you know, we've got all these bands that are even starting to come up now, and just everybody is all unified, and all of us just want to play heavy music and have fun.
Do you think it's interesting you say that, Brian? Do you think as well the post-COVID situation has helped that, because everyone was locked up, couldn't get to shows, and now people are just appreciating that they can hear this music and go and see it again? So it's kind of brought everyone back together.
It seemed
I
like
think
it
so.
for the first year, but now it's kind of back to more. It's getting back more to normal now.
Yeah.
Like building the shows up. But yeah, I feel like for the first year after it kind of came back in, yeah, because nobody had been out so long, all the shows were packing out right away. But we weren't quite in there right then. We came
Not
in,
yet.
we were like 6 months after that, so it was still kind of even, but in the middle, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
We've been doing other stuff to work with the scene though, like Brian's been booking shows and
Nice.
10, 12 bands on it, you know, just trying to get these great lineups where we're all working together on it and trying to make it awesome for everybody. So
trying to give all the homies, you know, as much love as I can, make sure that they can play in front of the crowds they want to play in front of, let them showcase their art. Like that's what it's all about in the scene, man. Just, you know, keep helping your homies, let them do their thing, you know. Like it's a success thing with everybody. Like everybody should succeed, everybody should be able to do their thing, and everybody should be able to have a fun time doing it.
Agreed. Got to enjoy it. This is what I love about doing this show. I only brought it back about 6 weeks ago, and before then it was on hiatus it was under a different name. It used to be called Ancient Visions, and it was under a different name. Sorry, I've just said the name. Ugh, brain farting. It was on hiatus. Yeah, I need a smoke, man. Get me in the zone.
right.
Yeah, it was on hiatus for about 3.5 years. I stopped off from doing the radio shows I used to do under the Wastelands. And I got thinking, I thought, wouldn't it be cool to do something where it can feature all of this music, as you said, help people like what we're doing now, talk about what inspires the music, how it was put together, what we like, what we've got in common, and get this out there for people. And I thought, well, I'm always fed up about something. So I thought, right, I'll call it Fed Up. Nothing to do with any band of the same name. I did look, I didn't find any. And yeah, and that's what I went with, just for pretty much the reasons you were saying with booking shows, Brian. And it's just pretty much open to everything and anything, more or less. And dude, I just love hearing from, you know, guests such as yourself on how they put all the art together, because that's what it is. It's, people need to remember, it's just all different forms of art. And
exactly.
If someone, I hope, from hearing this interview can go away with that respect, even if it's like, okay, this music's too heavy for me, I don't like it, whatever, okay, that's fine. But at least they can respect the process that goes into it, the hard work that goes into it, because I do feel people can sometimes look down on death metal, especially on slam and brutal death, and say, oh yeah, anyone can do it, anyone can do the vocals easy. And like, no, it's not. It really isn't as easy as you think, especially on The Voice. I mean, the hell, there's been YouTube videos with some random dude was going up with people, right, do me some extreme metal vocals, and the vocals were horrendous, that they couldn't do it at all. And so look, you've got to maintain your voice, you've got to have that projection as well, be able to get the from So
it's shit difficult, man. It took me a very long time to be able to even get where I am, and I still feel like every day I'm improving, and I feel like there's really no such thing as perfection with vocals, which kills me because, like I said, I'm a perfectionist. But at the same time, anytime I can get better at my craft, that makes me happy. And I feel like it's like that with any and all instruments, because the voice is an instrument.
Yeah. So how do you feel? How do you maintain your voice then and keep it in shape and keep honing it and train it to get to that next level, if you like, to keep going?
Man, I really wish I could have. I could say that I kept it in shape, because I've blown out my vocal cords many times trying to get to this point. Because there's a proper way to be able to do vocals. If you don't do them properly, that shit hurts, man. And it makes it to where like it's really hard to even make it through a set. And it's really all about, you know, an air to vocal ratio. And if you can figure out that ratio, it won't hurt per se, but until you literally hit it perfect, it's gonna be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I want to just give you
every day though at work. He takes videos, like he works on it daily. So voicing, new voices, creating more stuff. Just
like there's all like I've been working on we call them the Yodas, right? Because you know there's like you know, and then you get the you know, that's what it comes out to whenever you actually do the vocals. But that's what I'm working on in particular, because I just love the tone of it. It's so wet and just juicy, man. It just sounds fucking sick.
Exactly. And I've always said that to people as well. I said, don't just think a guy or a girl just gets in front of that mic and just does it off the top of on the fly like that. Like they can just do that. Like, it doesn't work like that. I do want to give Kaleb Guitars a shout out. He's had to dip out, folks, but thanks for coming on, man. And you are welcome on here anytime. Thoroughly enjoyed chatting to you. So we'll talk to Kaleb Guitars again at some point. At least now I shouldn't get so confused in theory. Now we've only got one Kaleb here.
It was definitely confusing in the beginning.
Oh, it doesn't take much to confuse me, man. Things can evaporate live as well, questions or whatever, and then I'm like, especially if it's something I struggle to pronounce. You know, if you get some of them bands where they've got like 3 of the same letters, I'm like, so how do I say this?
Yeah, right? You're like, real quick, clarify, right? Like, how do I pronounce this?
And then I'm just like, what? And then I'm just like, man, especially if it's especially if it's Eastern European as well, or Finnish, that is so difficult. I'm like, how the hell? So coming back to your music again, Extraterrestrial Desecration, love that. Obviously, sci-fi cosmic vibes with it, and this one features Brandon Schaub from Invirulence. So
yes, that's my boy right there, dude.
Another loaded question for you, for you both. You know, again, how did you come up with the name for the song, the inspirations behind it, and then we can talk a bit about the music, and then hook up with Brandon as well.
So the so with the song title itself, Extraterrestrial actually came from Kaleb. Nice. Kaleb with a K, the guitarist. Okay. Him and I were kind of spitballing back and forth, because the song has, you know, that alien vibe, and I'm like, man, dude, I really don't know what a good one is for this one. That was the one I struggled on, honestly, the most. And he was just like, well, what about we do something with extraterrestrial? Because, you know, we've already got interdimensional, outer dimensional, metaphysical, you know, all these names. And I was like, I was like, yeah, we can go for that. And the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, well, we've already, this whole album vibe is just end times. You know, there's a fucking portal in the sky. Aliens are raining down, or, you know, interdimensional beings are raining down on these guys. It's a full sci-fi movie, like all wrapped in one. I was like, well, we got extraterrestrial desecration, right? So desecration, you know, any sort of pretty much just disgusting event that's going on to, you know, the human body, or just the body in general. And for me, this desecration could be, you know, tying into these alien creatures, these interdimensional creatures, you know, what do you call it? Incubating, you know, these human bodies, which goes back to fetid, just, you know, ripping them limb from limb, putting heads on spikes, you know, using, like, wearing their body parts as, you know, clothing and such, like skinning them. That's kind of where I went with that. And I was like, this is a really dark one, but like, I really like it. Dude, the riff structure is nuts. Just everything about it. Like, it's just such a good fucking song. And Brandon, actually, I just recently got in contact with him, probably about like 6 months ago. We were like, we were having issues getting somebody else on the album, and I'm just sitting here thinking like, man, who do I know that's just an absolute monster that could use the press and could also, you know, help us turn this song into something even better. And I'm sitting here thinking like, yo, in Virulent, like these dudes are on the up. They're fucking crushing. Like his vocals, in my opinion, he's the most underrated vocalist in the scene. That man is just an absolute fucking monster. And all of the different styles of his vocals, I was like, okay, so I'm doing, you know, I'm doing these Yodas. I'm doing these old school vocals. I'm doing new school vocals. I'm doing fries. I'm doing all these guttural types. I'm like, what could really help complement that? And you know, whenever I reached out to him, he was like, oh dude, yeah, fuck yeah, I would love to. And then he kind of asked us what we were thinking, and I was like, bro, here's the section, be creative, do what you feel you would like. And dude, that's what he did. And he just made the most disgusting alien like sounds that I've ever fucking heard. And I'm just sitting here listening to these, he calls them the turkey vocals, which I can't even remotely attempt it. Like it's like in the back, like, you know, but he's like doing a guttural at the same time, and it's just like I can't do it. But it's just so gross. And when he did it, I was like, yes. And I sent it to the guys, and they were like, yeah, this sounds good. So it just like he was sick as fuck. His vocal style was perfect for the song, and I really think he brought that one particular breakdown section to life. Like I just, oh my god, dude, it's so good.
Yeah, it really adds something to it. It's a really sick one for sure. Really enjoyed it. Even the title, that was one that just, another one that grabbed us. Then the next one, Fiendish Amalgamations. Oh man, again, and this one, when I was listening to this, and again we were mentioning the theme with the album cover, all been saying, you know, colossal end times, destruction, everything. This one I felt really kind of captivates the creature that you see on the cover there.
Yes.
If you could say, hey, this is kind of like unofficial title track in a way. I thought this is it, because again, it made me think of that beast, what it's doing. I was probably just destroying everything, throwing things, ripping it apart everywhere. And again, you have another good collaboration on this. Alex Paul from Organectomy, sick band. So again, what inspired the title, and then we'll get to the music and the collaboration with Alex.
So the title, just that, it was the photo, like, you know, there's the guy just chilling on the spire, and, you know, he looks like he's that guy. He looks like he's there to just fuck shit up. And I was like, you know, this dude literally looks, the original name of the song was going to be Fiendish Atrocities. Because, you know, that, but for us, we like to kind of keep the names also kind of a little separate from what other people are doing. And, you know, Atrocities, you know, Analepsy. And we were like, you know, this would go really good here. But, and then that was another one with Kaleb on guitar. Him and I spitballed about that one. He was like, well, what about amalgamations? And I was like, I don't even know what that word means. So like instantly I go look at it and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. It's like this, you know, this buildup of different things. And I was like, yeah, that works. And you know, everybody else agreed on it. And personally, that's what it ended up being. It ended up being Homie just sitting there on the spire looking like he was there to mess stuff up. And, you know, I was like, yeah, that's the Fiendish Amalgamation. And you know, I sent the lyrics over to Alex, and he just nailed it, man. Like Organectomy is like all of our, like one of our favorite bands, particularly Joseph, our drummer. He is huge fan. So I wanted to get, you know, vocalists that could definitely you know, like do their part on the album, make it sound fucking crushing, right? But that in particular was a gift to Joseph because of how much work he has put in the band. And I was like, you know what? Like if I'm gonna get somebody on here, that it needs to not be someone like that I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah. You know, I was like, I'm gonna do this for Joseph. And I'm so glad that Alex was so chill, and you know, he was just like, yeah, man, yeah, I'll do it. And he just absolutely crushed his part.
Yeah. Isn't it awesome when you meet these cats and they're humble and they share your vision and they believe in what you're doing and they recognize what you're doing as well. It's awesome to experience that, and it's awesome when I'm like now talking to someone and hearing that as well, that hey, you know, a band of that nature recognizes as well the vision that you've got. Fantastic, man.
It really is, though, because, you know, I'll be honest with you, I did not expect for us to get that feature. I did not. I was like, man, this dude just got back off tour. He was touring with Devourment, and I was just like, man, dude, I might not be able to make this happen. And he was just so cool. He was, you know, he answered like almost immediately. I was just like, hey, man, you know, we would like to have you on this album, you know, as a feature. This is the song. You know, let me know what you think. And he was like, oh, this sounds really good. And then he was just super chill about, like, super humble, which, you know, in some individuals, once again, not knocking anybody, but, you know, not everybody's really humble and really chill and easy to approach. So I was like, holy shit, dude, the guy on this level being this chill, you know, with us. And it was awesome. Like, you know, I firmly believe that we are on a level. I firmly believe that we are good, that everything we've done, you know, is putting us out there. But that right there, you know, unique leader and just this monster of a vocalist, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical. I didn't know if we would get that one, but dude, he made that track just so much better, and I'm really thankful that he hopped on.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. And amazing that, again, he's a humble dude, and I can relate to what you're saying when sometimes you encounter people that are not so humble, not so on the level, and that is completely soul destroying, disheartening when it happens as well. It's like, for example, you know, sometimes if you meet a famous sports player or whatever, and it can be with like a team you've followed, and then they turn out to be completely, you know, the opposite of what you thought they were. That's horrible. It's just like, man, it's like, it's almost like you're looking at your jersey or your basketball shirt in that moment thinking, oh, well.
Yeah, you're just like,
total buzzkill for sure, man. So again, how did you all get the music together for this one as well, you know, with the riffs, the bass and the drums?
So Kaleb in general, man, like the whole band, dude, they, once again, and I know we've said this a million times, but dude, they really just ride on a vibe, man. Like we had, they come together, they work their asses off, and I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm not really a part of the riff writing process, and it's actually because I prefer not to be. And it might sound weird, but just bear with me on this. For me, I don't want to hear what they're writing while they're writing it, because then it changes, right? The riffs change, the drum patterns change, the bass changes, you know, a million times before something's finally finished, right? So for me, I don't want to hear what you're doing in the moment. When it's done, I can sit there, fresh ears. I don't have any preconceptions of what was already written. Then I could be like, okay, let's listen to this. Oh, I like that riff. Okay, this pattern would go really good over that riff. But dude, all of them, you know, they're so talented. And for me, like, being part of Kryptoxik has forced me to become a better musician. And they're all absolutely incredible. You know, when Kaleb lays down his bass, it's fucking nuts, man. When I watch him, you know, play his guitar, and he makes it look so fucking effortless, dude. Like, it's just wow. And then same thing with Joseph. You know, when he was in the studio doing his thing, I was just like, holy fuck, man. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So it's nuts to watch everybody, you know, do their thing. But I'm not really a part of the riff writing process. But what I can imagine, and if I'm wrong, I do apologize to the band for saying this. But I imagine that what they do is they sit together and they think on, you know, what the vibe could be, and they're like, all right, cool. So we're writing this chaotic, you know, this chaotic, just absolute mass destruction album. So we want our songs and these tracks to sound as close to that vibe as possible.
Yeah, I gotta say, Kaleb's always like 10 moves ahead. He's always got stuff written. He's working on like other projects as well. He's got like, I don't know, 3 or 4 bands in the works, just constantly like grinding and seeing where things can go, you know, just like domineering and take over the world type shit. And it's an honor to get to like play with him and like get to see his experience. I've only been recently in the band, but getting to write with him, and yeah, learn the music that he's written for like the older albums and stuff. Just get into, so I've written music for other bands and done my own stuff, but he's got a specific style that just crushes, and he does make it seem effortless. Like trying to figure out some of his riffs, it was just like, man, like how do you even do that? But now that like I've been with the group for a while and I'm getting my own style in there too, it's nice to have it all fit together, and yeah, to
be a part of that natural harmony. Sounds like it comes from him naturally. And Brian, this is no ask, and it actually doesn't sound so weird what you were describing. That's a way. Well, I'm in the interview now, but whenever I've done reviews, I do the movie reviews outside of here, as I was saying earlier to y'all. I like to. Okay, I'll say it like this. If I wasn't interviewing you today and it was just, hey guys, will you review our album? I would go and listen to it away from any other kind of music, away from anything else, because I want to hear that music for itself, not be influenced by anything at all to think, I'm hearing this in the background. I don't want to read what anybody else has written. If it's got the quotes, I'm like, no, I don't want to know. Don't send me them. Don't tell me anything what anybody else has said, because I want to hear myself naturally what is coming at me, so I feel I can give it the most truthful, purest interpretation and feedback upon the art itself that is there, rather than be unintentionally influenced by anything. So that's the impression I was drawing from what you were describing. You want that to come together as, like I was saying, natural harmony, and then you can freely put your voice, vocals on top of that, rather than I feel you don't want to unintentionally maybe disrupt the process of that song being formed, of it being put together. And then, no, this doesn't sound right. I'm not saying you would, but
exactly.
Sometimes those temptations can be there. And then
very much so. They are. It was like that when we wrote the very first one out, the very first EP. I was kind of like, and then I had to learn to just separate myself. And like whenever we did our third EP, whenever we did our first full length symbiotic, symbiotic assimilation. That's whenever I started that. I was like, don't send me anything until it's done. And he was like, okay. And to me, I'm glad I did that, because I was able to, like I said, have fresh ears, and I just threw down. Like I wrote a bunch of patterns, and then I took the patterns and I wrote my lyrics, and then after that I recorded, and I was like, yeah, I like this. Yeah. This will do.
Yeah, it's that evolution, and sometimes as we learn through that experience, right, we'll put our ego aside here and grow. So no, that was really, really cool, man. Coming on to the next one, metaphysical dissection. I probably struggle to pronounce that one, not so, but
anyway, you said it right.
Digress. Again, this one, man, as you gather, I feel like I say this on every single person I speak to, whether it's from any kind of music or movies, but I think you'll be able to relate to this, being a fellow nerd, Brian. I have a very visual imagination, so I see everything in my mind just literally like a movie playing out. The same when I listen to music, songs, it makes me think of things. It can be incredibly annoying at times because sometimes I can't switch it off. But this one, man, it made me kind of think of, in a way, and I don't know if I'm off here, but like as if somebody's kind of spirit and DNA in a way was completely being dissected and crushed by someone seeing force. So I just wondered, is there any of that in the influence behind the title and the lyrics?
It is, yes, and that's literally what was metaphysical. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yay.
Oh, my bad. I thought Kaleb was saying something. My bad.
All right, sorry, I didn't see it. Sorry, Kaleb.
No,
jump in whenever, Kaleb, by the way.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying anything.
Okay, my bad, man. So with metaphysical dissection, that was exactly it. It was literally someone being dissected down to a metaphysical, spiritual level. Like it was the lyrics are roughly about someone being dissected, of course, by these individuals. They're dissecting a human being to kind of figure out what makes us tick, and they're literally going down all the way to crushing this individual's spirit to the point where when it's done, this individual has nothing. They are nothing more than a husk of what they were. Like, they're literally just a human shell, no emotions, no nothing. And that was the inspiration and the lyrical content for that one.
Yeah, and what's interesting as well, hearing that explanation now, I'm going to be nerding again. It's making me think to 40K again with the what they're called now, the Drukari, formerly the Dark Eldar, and is it the Homunculi when they capture humans or other races? Yeah, I think so. And they keep them alive for, oh man, I think as long as possible. And these guys are doing like medical torture in a way to break down, as you said, what these humans make. And they're even like, I think, conducting their screams as some like kind of like symphony. And it is really, really sick, sinister stuff. So immediately it made me think of that, or some dark beings if they're doing that. Hopefully, as Caleb's now, smoking one up there, you don't maybe see some appear with smoking copious amounts. That'd be an experience, man. Not that anyone wants to go through that, of course not.
Right. No, but yeah, that was kind of the goal. Like, a lot of the album is very Lovecraftian. It's very Warhammer. Like a lot of the names. So for me with lyrics, I kind of go through and I look up like, what's a word for this, what's a word for that, and I also do love the Lovecraftian horror. I love the universe of it. Same with Warhammer. I love that. World of Warcraft, all of the above. Anime, I love all of it. And to kind of be able to take all of this nerdy knowledge that I have and throw it into something as heavy as Kryptoxik, because dude, it's so fucking satisfying, man. I love it because I can just be like, no one's gonna know what this is unless they know, And then hearing you, you're like, yeah, man, like, and I'm just like, dude, yes, like, holy fuck, you get it,
Honestly, I didn't even know that when I first joined the project, I thought it was just basic, butchery, gore, slam. But we were doing an interview with our local 99.9 metal shop. And that's when Brian started explaining that it was all about aliens. And I, too, am just like a huge sci-fi, fantasy, just nerd fan. And I was just like, oh, shit, I didn't realize that. Now I love being in this band even more now that I know that it's like all of this alien and like the metaphysical stuff. Like, I'm always listening to audiobooks and stuff like Drive and just that the different series and authors, but they all come back to like these same essences of like the soul, the like shadows, like the different realms, and like it's cool getting to like write our own piece of that sci-fi story,
Yep. And that's what I love to write about. Like, I kind of stay away from the religious stuff. I stay away from, the mass murder butchery stuff. I mean, the bands that can do it, dude, awesome, man. Because I'll be honest with you, I can't really write like that. I don't have enough experience in that field of things. So, when it comes to like being able to just impart all of this nerdy fucking knowledge into Kryptoxik, like, once again, man, I'm just like, I'm at home here. Like, the guys are like, oh yeah, dude, you want to write about that shit? Cool, because like Kaleb, he's a huge nerd too. He's huge into like Star Wars and stuff like that. So like the whole band, literally all of us, dig anime. All of us dig like Star Wars, video games. So it's just, it's very freeing to just be able to be like, all right, cool. So I like this song, and I'm going to use some of my video game and anime and book knowledge, and I'm just gonna be like, all right, cool. This is what I'm going to write about. And then whenever I show them, they're like, dude, that slaps. That's good. And I'm like, thank you.
Totally, man. And this is why I was saying earlier, I feel it's such a wealth of material for extreme metal that doesn't get tapped into enough. I know there's other bands who do it, even in other genres a bit. And power metal kind of explores the fantasy and sci-fi a lot, I guess. Yeah, it does. But I feel to really put like a heaviness on it, and to do an extreme version of it, man, some of these books, games, worlds, stories, everything, it's crying to be done. It's out there, and it's good if you're into that as well, like we are. Because look, I'm not bashing any bands like you. I'm not saying I don't enjoy the music, but it's nice to hear something different, a different take, instead of it always being the same kind of stuff, which sometimes I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite. Sometimes I think, oh man, again, you know, so it's nice that there's that passion there to bring those interests, things that you enjoy, into an extreme setting. And again, I'm not bashing any of the bands who, you know, going on any other themes. No, I'm not doing that. I was just saying every now and then, and I won't lie, we all do sometimes think, oh man, I want to hear something, even if it's heavy, but just a bit different. And that's where bringing these interests to life can fill that void. You know, it's making me go on so many nerd tangents here in all of this, because if you think of all these like kind of unseen realms and everything, you can go so deep on it. Man, people who do that kind of thing, I'd imagine you look into all this stuff, man, that would make a good show for sure. You know, hearing their experience of it. So coming to the next one. Oh man, here we go. Take a deep breath. I'm probably this is going to be one that'll just roll off the tongue alive for you as well. Interdimensional.
Calamitous Extirpation.
Yeah, there we go. You saved us.
I know the one. Yep. No. So yeah, no, that one was a lot of fun to come up with, because we wanted a kind of longer album title, you know, because that's what a lot of the heavy, really heavy slam bands do. They have like this kind of scientific long ass title, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna go for it. And just, you know, the whole album, it's interdimensional beings just absolutely destroying shit on a calamitous scale. So like even and then that name actually came from the album art itself.
Yes, the title track there.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just trying to take a deep breath to pronounce it. Thanks for saving us.
It's a long name, man. Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. So, has there been anything you've read, you know, both of you, any kind of stories on interdimensional beings or mysterious creatures or sci-fi or horror or mysteries that, you know, have caught your attention, thought, man, that's pretty scary, that's weird, or I wonder what that's about, that's interesting?
So the biggest one for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he is interdimensional, is It. If you've read the Stephen King books, it is very much so a dimensional being from the dark dimension. And you know, that's kind of also where the inspiration came from, because he's this creature that doesn't really have a corporeal form, right? He's completely metaphysical until he takes that form of what scares you most.
Yeah.
Right. So that's, for me, that's probably the biggest inspiration. You know, I love the original with Tim Curry, and then of course, you know, I love the new ones. The new ones were wow, they were so good. But yeah, like for that's one of the, in my opinion, the scariest interdimensional creature, because it literally feeds on your fear and eats you while you're fearful.
Yeah. What about you, Kaleb? Just put you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm thinking, because like there's
you're welcome.
Good ones out there. Like, I mean, the Wheel of Time, that one's got the Machen Shin or something, like the black wind or whatever that's inside the ways, and that's just like these screaming, tormented voices, and no one knows what it actually looks like, but it's just like, you know, some of the things that are like less described leaves more to your like imagination and can be even more terrifying than something that's like exquisitely defined.
Yes.
The fear of the unknown, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's all I can think of right now.
No. I just put you on the spot there. But no, you're right, because when sometimes if you don't see it, and there's that mystery there, that can be more terrifying than see even like a gore splatter scene, because there's that suspense. What is there? What is hiding? Or if it's like just quick for a moment, like a scene, and it takes it. It's funny you mention it as well, because I noticed on the Carnival of Slaughter Halloween Fest 2 that you're playing next weekend. It's a perfect excuse to plug this. Pennywise is on the artwork on the fly for that. The original, is sick. I like the first one. The second one, I'm probably going to upset people here. I thought the second of the new movies fell off a bit towards the end. I much preferred the first one.
Yeah, it felt rushed. Yeah, I agree.
But other than that, I thought they were pretty good, and it definitely had the horror vibe. And I liked it how met again in later life, and they've still, look, we've still got to face this thing. It's still out there. It's still coming for us. So I thought they really did a good job in that aspect with it. But that flyer for that show that you all play next week, Carnival of Slaughter Halloween Fest 2, and you've got Pennywise there, and then in the background on the artwork, you see his hand, and then you almost see a figure like who's in the corridor right at the back with the light. I thought that just goes with that whole lineup very nicely. So yeah, folks, I'm going to plug this real quick for you. 28th next Saturday, $12 on the door. So get yourselves down there. It's at the Hawthorne Hideaway, and that's in 2221 SC Hawthorne Boulevard in Portland, Oregon, 97214. Details of this on the Kryptoxik Mortality Facebook page, and there's a Facebook page for the event as well, Carnival of Slaughter Official. Got to get that out there with mentioning the artwork in it. Sick stuff indeed. So coming up to the next one, I'll just quicken Interdimensional means, of course, Pinhead and Hellraiser, the Cenobites as well. Definitely sick stuff. So here's another one, and this is track 10. This features John Mayer from Necrotic Gorbies. Shout out to them. Really, really good dudes. Sick band as well. I think I can pronounce this one. Multiversal Enigmatic Deformities. So just wondered if you could break down what inspired the title, the lyrics, and Kaleb, if you could share a little bit about the music as well, how you put it together.
So with Multiversal Enigmatic Deformities, Kaleb came up with the other Kaleb helped me come up with that name. Multiversal is kind of what we've been doing for the whole album. It's interdimensional, outer dimensional, multiversal, metaphysical. It kind of follows this that theme. And with multiversal enigmatic deformities, it's literally those creatures, right? But enigmatic is more of a phantasmic kind of deal with it, and the deformities, that's just them. They just look like these grotesque beings to the humans, and it's pretty much the whole album is literally just a fight against these creatures that humanity is attempting to survive against.
Wow. Yeah, it's got that onslaught with the music as well. Again, really, it really has that feel. Kaleb, did what your part in this pretty much just go on the vibe, on the feeling?
Yeah, I was mostly following the other Kaleb's lead. He's the one that really crafted that track. And yeah, I kind of just fill in the low end and try to keep up at some points.
Which he did a fantastic job of, man. Like he's come in, he's still new to the band, but he's literally jumped in with both feet, dude, right into the deep end too, man. Like he saved on multiple shows, and we were just like, dude, this is the guy, man. He matches the vibe, he matches everything. He can write with us. He's super chill, down to earth, and it just stuck, man. And honestly, like I wish I could have been. Well, I don't wish that I was more involved in the writing process. Like I said earlier, I don't want to ruin what they're doing, but I can imagine that he had a lot to do with it as well. Like it's just, I just imagine that the three of them writing together, spitballing different riffs back and forth until they finally figure out like, hey, this will do, and then recording it all together. And like I said, like, dude, just. Kaleb in general coming into the band, he has given us a fresh energy, and if you've seen the videos, his stage presence is nuts. Like he gets the crowd going on breakdowns, he gets them going during the fucking riffs, he gets them going during the stops, and just overall he's been a very, very great acquisition to the band, and we're happy to have him.
Thanks.
You're welcome. We love you, buddy.
Yeah, I think like we were saying earlier, it's about having that chemistry and synergy together, and I feel that's important to you, Brian, that if someone was coming into the band like Kaleb, they've got to have the right vibe, match the feeling, obviously all get on, and really, really, really be a part of it in every aspect there naturally to keep it going. So yeah. So the closing track, Fractured Molecule Deconstruction. Again, this one kind of had me thinking a little of metaphysical dissection. Someone was breaking us down to a molecule. We could even think of what is it, the proton collider CERN, I think, with all the molecules as well. So I just wondered what influenced the title and the lyrics for this one, and then Kaleb, if you want to share with us a little on the music as well.
So for fractured molecular, oh my gosh, final word, please.
Deconstruction.
Deconstruction, thank you. So for that one in particular, that one was really just a part two to the other one. However, this one is different. This one is actually the humans ripping apart and dissecting the beasts that are. This is toward the very end of it is the end of the album, and it's kind of a segue into the next one, because at this, the humans are attempting to figure out how they plan to fight back. You know, they're creating armor out of these creatures. They're creating weapons from these creatures. It's become very primal at this point in time. There's not really a lot of firearms left. The world's pretty much been absolutely destroyed. So they're trying to figure out, okay, so what we have is not working against these individuals. So we are going to completely deconstruct these guys down to the very last molecule, and we are going to figure out what we can salvage from them to create a means for us to survive this planetary apocalypse.
Yeah. I like Roswell vibes there as well.
Yes. So, and that actually listen to the next album, which I can't really talk about a whole much, but you know, whenever it comes out, but it segues us into that with sorry about that, I hiccuped and talked at the same time.
Sorry.
Right. With a more with the humans more or less fighting against what's going on with augmentations, if you will. And once you see kind of cybernetic, and, you know, once the artwork drops, and you know, if you remember the interview, you'll be like, oh shit, yeah, I remember that conversation, cybernetics.
Yeah, technological horror, and I like that twist. I like that twist because I didn't think of that. I thought of it more again, creatures or the aliens doing that to us. So that's nice how you're turning the tables. No, this is the humans now thinking, right, what have we got to do here? How are we going to fight back, as you said, because it's not working? So that's a perfect lead up to the next album, which I'll behave myself and not ask you about that until that album drops. Yeah. So Kaleb, did you follow the other Kaleb's lead for this with the music again? Was it a similar process?
Yeah. I mean, with it being the ending track, want it to be, you know, monstrous and just really, you know, leave nothing left unsaid or unriffed or whatever.
Hey, I like it.
That's good.
Yeah. Did you feel it was important then to have that good monstrous ending? Because some bands, I feel, you know, we said it before, can put a filler track on the close.
Yeah, no, when you come to an ending, you know, you want people to know that's like the end. You know, there are some albums where it's kind of a filler track, and you're like, oh wait, that was the end. Like it doesn't have that conclusion, that finality. Yeah, but it's cool to have it also segue into the upcoming album, where like we do have different. The story continues, but there's twists, and it's not all just one style. Like for this one being more extraterrestrial.
We're all getting tongue-tied.
like metaphysical and like that shit. The next one going a little bit more cybernetic and the build of something new, you know?
Yeah. I'm impression I'm drawing from this as well, and there's an obvious statement here, but I'm going to make it, as you all really enjoyed making this album, both lyrically, musically as well. It's really set up the passion for the next release because you've got this interconnected story, and it's something you can build on. And I mean, hell, you could even do a follow-up to the next album with it for sure. So what was your most enjoyable thing that you all enjoyed about making the album?
I love the recording process, man. It's just like don't get me wrong, I love playing live shows. I love, building the crowd's anticipation. I love, commanding the crowd and doing my thing. But recording it and creating it, watching the album itself, watching my vocals slowly unfold and come to life, dude, there's no better experience for me. Like I love the recording process, man, because it gives me, it gives me that time to write the lyrics, lets me write out my patterns, kind of have a plan, memorize everything, go in and do my thing. And I'm just like, oh, dude, like that, to me, there is nothing more fulfilling than watching an empty song. Like, I mean, not empty, of course, it's got riffs and everything, but like,
I know what you mean.
there we go, instrumental. There we go. Is what is listening and watching this instrumental song become what it is, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, that was so fun. And I mean, Kaleb in general, he makes it so easy to really do, because once it's presented to me, it's written, it's got a good mix on it, I can hear everything equally, and then I just throw down.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Kaleb? I'd imagine playing the music, obviously.
Yeah. Also, just like the fellowship between everyone. Like,
yeah,
Kaleb's a really easy guy to work with. He makes it, everything's just like, there you go. Like, there's no jumping around, pulling teeth. Like, same with Joseph. Like, we all stop and grab coffee or whatever types of drinks and baked goods before we go to our, rehearsals and our meetups, and just having that time to chill, smoke a little bit, just that fellowship is what, that closeness, being able to feeling comfortable to share your opinions and ideas, without anyone, being anxious or whatever, sometimes that happens in the writing process.
Yeah.
With this group, like, we all have our voice and we all bring something special to the table. So just having that cohesive chemistry, and that was, I think, my favorite part. The music is always stimulating and rewarding, playing and writing and whatnot, but the people that you do it with and the time you have while doing it, that's important too.
It's nice to be a part of something, isn't it, where there isn't that stress. You all can enjoy what you're doing, create it together, and again, as the consistent, strong theme that's come across to me since talking to you all is natural harmony, which I've stated quite a few times throughout today's show. So the flip side of that, were there any moments where you did get frustrated in the creative process, maybe with some songs, encountered some difficult patches where it's like, man, I feel we didn't quite do it on this one with either the title, the lyrics, or the music? And if so, I mean, Brian, I see you nodding. How did you get past those moments?
For me, the most frustrating part is writing the lyrics. It's, I mean, it's fun, but at the same time, I probably go through, my goodness, I don't use paper, I use my phone, but like I go through so much trial and error, because I'm over there writing the lyrics and I'm like, all right, da 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 da, oh no, never mind, da 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 da, no, okay, fuck. And then I just sit there and I'm like, that doesn't work, no, that works, and then when you get that works moment, you're like, okay, cool. And then when you get that works moment, you go on to the next script and you're like, oh. So you just sit there and for me, like, that's like literally beating my head up against a fucking brick wall. And but same side of the coin, it's fulfilling to see it when it's finally all done with, and it's also a breath of fresh air, because you're just like, oh my god, it's done. I hope everyone likes it.
Yeah. And what about you, Kaleb? Was there any moments there with the music where you got in some difficult patches?
Honestly, I don't think I did have any frustrations, but I do understand Brian, because whenever I've tried to write lyrics for something, it's difficult, but I mean, any good task is a big undertaking, and through that struggle, you get a better sense of accomplishment through it, because writing all those lyrics, that's a lot of work to do. But sometimes just like writing the music, sometimes the riffs just kind of like write themselves, and you just feel that flow. Like Caleb's always talking about that vibe and that flow. Honestly, most of the stuff that we jam, that just kind of comes naturally. Like he's been playing for 30 some odd years, and just having that experience and that time of perfecting his craft. Like I've been doing music for a long time. I probably like 10 years of playing in bands, but before that, jamming on my own, writing my own stuff. So I've gotten to a point in my own process that being able to work with other people and just jump in there, it's not too awkward, you know. Like initially, getting to learn Caleb's writing style was a little different, but now that we definitely meld really well. So yeah, everyone's doing their best and like putting in their full 110% effort. And yeah, Joseph getting new ding ding bells and new crashes and stuff, and always excited about, like, he got a new snare head the other day and it just gave it that perfect pounce or punch, whatever. It's just cool getting to see everyone perfecting and moving forward in their craft. Like Ryan always practicing his vocals, unlocking new tones and stuff. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
No, I think as well, when you're writing and creating music, it's the process I think you can go through is a bit like, to put a martial arts reference on this, it's a bit like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in a way, where it's looking for a technique out of many complex techniques, one that works, refine that, so you know you've got that in your armory, and hone it and develop it and make that part better as well, and then take another part. It's like a gradual process. And then with slam in general, to put this nerdy martial arts reference further on it, the fast and the slow, well, it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well, transitioning from fast moments, short, sharp bursts, into more patient build-ups, looking for an opening. So yeah, just randomly nerding again. I know you got the official visualizer for metaphysical dissection that dropped on Slam Worldwide. I've saw some of the feedback. That's great. I just wondered, what have people said in the local scene about the music, and what's been some of the most pleasing feedback that you've heard?
So as far as I know right now, everybody in the local scene supports us. I haven't really heard anything from that. But it really is just that, man. Like, everybody's like, we're so happy that you guys are here. We're happy you guys are doing what you're doing. You know, you guys are bringing this resurgence back to Washington death metal. And I mean, we've heard that one a couple times. But overall, man, it's just in general, we're really just happy to be here. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, we all knew that what we had was special, but you never know where something's going to go until it's already there. And, you know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, this isn't the end, and this is more or less just the beginning, you know, for Kryptoxik Mortality as a whole. I wish the other Kaleb was here right now, because he has this analogy. He talks about the band and the steps we take as a band as a train, right? It's got all these stops that it has to make before you get to your final destination. And even then, that destination might not be the final one. You might be hopping a whole nother train to a whole nother set of tracks to go to the next level. And you know, I feel personally that, you know, that's what we just did, you know, signing with Comatose, you know, Steve being willing to release our music and to put this album out for us. You know, I believe that right there was that final stop, and now we're hopping on another train to see kind of where we go from here. And you know, dude, Kaleb is so intelligent when it comes to the music scene. He's been in it forever. You know, like he said, he's just been kind of waiting for the right people to come along so that he could build this. And, you know, I will be 100% honest. And, you know, there might be some people that don't like this, but Kryptoxik Mortality would not be what it is without Kaleb. Kaleb has taken us all under his wing. He has helped us all become better musicians, better people. He calls us daily. He's like, "Hey man, how you doing today? You know, how's your mental state? You know, how are things going at home? How are things going? You know, are you practicing?" He checks up on us. That man genuinely loves and cares about us like we're family. And, you know, going back to what, you know, Kaleb, we're just gonna, Kaleb with a C. going back to what
I'm a bad influence, man.
Right? Going back to what Kaleb said, dude, the camaraderie is nuts. We're not just a band, we're a family. And all of us look to each other for advice. All of us look to each other to make sure that we're all doing good. And, you know, with that being said, I honestly, I don't think that I would be able to do this with any other group of guys. You know, like it wouldn't matter what opportunity came to me at this point in time in my life. Like I have my boys here, and these guys have looked out for me at my lowest. I've tried to do the same, albeit I've probably failed in some aspects. And you know, I'm grateful to be here, and I speak for the whole band that, you know, we're excited to see where this album goes and what the next stage of Kryptoxik Mortality is.
Yeah, the same. Jem, I mean, all the themes that we've been talking about have hooked me in. That's it. That just hits everything right for me. I'm just like, yes. I remember getting the promo from, shout out to Chris and Paul from Imperative PR. And when it come through, and man, those are really good dudes, those guys as well. And when I saw it and I saw the track titles, I'm like, and I'm always emailing them anyway. Yo, does someone want to come on the show? Blah blah blah. Who's looking for an interview? And I was reading through the inspirations. I just thought, and then I had the music. I thought, I've got to talk to these guys. I've got to talk to them. Got to talk to them. This is just yes. This is a win. This is everything I like musically, but with the themes and influences, etc., behind the titles as well. I think as well, being in a band, for it to function and evolve and stay for longevity, it has to be like a family. I remember a long time ago, I talked to this cat from Australia who was in a band called As I Destruct, who sadly split up. And he was telling me, and he put it like this, I won't try and butcher his accent because I'll do a horrible job of it. And he said to me at the time, it was like, when you're touring, guys, and he said, say you're sharing a room together or whatever, he said, you've got to be able to talk to each other, even in the good and bad. You've got to know when you can make up or you need that time away. And he put it like this, and it's kind of a gutter level, but it's got the comedy aspect. That's the way I'm defending this statement. He goes to me, he goes, if you're sharing a hotel room together, I went, yeah, man. He goes, yeah. And he said, and a guy comes over, he said, you've got to be able to turn around. And he did this with his hand signal. He said, listen, mate, fuck off. I've just shit myself. All right. It's like, it was, dude, it was so funny, but I got what he was meaning. And then he said, on the serious note, he said, we've got to be able to do that. And especially if you want to avoid that inner turmoil, any conflict, anything like that. And I went, yeah, I get it. I thought it was a different way of how he put it, but I get what he's saying. It's funny you mentioned that. Well, you didn't mention it like that, obviously.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I just corrected myself there quickly. Do you have any planned merchandise to support this? You know, some more shirts, anything like that, special hoodies and stuff?
We're always
the album,
working.
sorry.
No, for the album. So we are currently waiting. I believe Comatose is going to do a limited run of our merch. And if that runs out, we'll probably just call Steve right back and we'll try to get more. But right now it's looking like there's only going to be shirts at the moment.
Awesome. Quick fire question. I know I've kept you on for quite a while. And we did allude to a little bit of this with 40K and other stuff. So what would be, general question to both of you, some of your favorite movies, games, you know, books, things like that?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I love the Diablo series. Yeah, no, I love the Diablo series. It's one of my favorite games. Resident Evil. Let's see, StarCraft. I'm playing the shit out of StarCraft right now. That's been, or not StarCraft. I'm sorry, Starfield. Starfield has been highly enjoyable. I love.
Is that any good? I haven't got it yet.
It's fantastic, man. It's on a whole different. The space combat alone is why I bought it, and then I started like looking up like tutorials and stuff for like building ships because I'm not that creative when it comes to building stuff. I never played Minecraft as a kid, so
I'm lazy.
Like, yeah. So whenever I attempt to build stuff, it kind of just ends up really wonky. But no, Starfield, dude, it's so good. movies wise, dude, I love like pretty much anything and everything that is sci-fi. I just got through watching The Meg 2. That was an action flick. It was more, it's still really good. Jason Statham is one of my favorite actors, and that one's not necessarily sci-fi. It's more of a creature feature, but I like sharks, so it was a good fit. But yeah, and then once again, I'm a huge anime nerd, man. One Piece is my go-to. I don't care what anyone says. One Piece is my thing. I've been following it for years. I'm all caught up. I'm looking forward to see what Oda Sensei has next. So
sick man. What about you?
I gotta
Kaleb?
say, growing up, the Halo games, like when I was in middle school, high school, I played the shit out of those. I loved
those LAN parties.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hook it
that was
your
good stuff.
Oops, have we lost Kaleb?
Sorry, you were.
Oh, sorry. I thought we had a screen for us.
Wait, what?
Okay. Yeah, but now that I've grown older, I don't have as much time for video games. But I was playing Skyrim forever, and now that Starfield came out, I haven't really played anything other than Starfield. Just like all the different factions you can choose from, I love those role-playing games where you just kind of create your own path through it. But movies, there's this one movie, Sphere. It was Samuel Jackson's in it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good one. Kind of a psychological thing. Just like a Event Horizon, kind of like
that's a classic.
Stargate, I love that.
Yeah.
The series, the SG-1 too. Bright. Lately, I've been getting into anime as well for the last couple of years. Tokyo Ghoul is really solid. I've been keeping up with Jujutsu Kaisen as season 2's continuing to come out, and just like some of those darker animes, like even Made in Abyss, like that one, the animation style is a little bit more cutesy, but the story is fucked up. Like some of that, just like the fact that they don't have to do it live action, they can just create whatever monsters, whatever fucked up situations. Like anime really has, almost just like Slam, you can put so many different aspects into it. There's Cowboy Bebop, even with like the starships and that aspect, the sci-fi.
Totally, man. I'll go on a tangent a little bit. Maybe Brian will return while I'm on this. Yeah, I totally feel it. Starfield has been on my. I'll just let Brian back. There we go. Welcome back, man.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's all right. No problem. Starfield has been on my watch list, guys, for a while because that game looks insane, and I like the fact you've got more or less total freedom to do what you want. And I thought I want to be some kind of like badass, kind of like space, kind of pirate stroke bounty hunter kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I want to do with it. Diablo, man, I'm with you, but I've got to admit, although Diablo 4 I did not like at all, diabolical bore as me and Ross called it. However, I've heard, and I've got to check this out, we were never really wanting to play in the seasons. We used to just play the characters. But I've heard this new season have dropped. Something below it's called. It's supposed to fix everything, the loot drops and everything. So we are toying with the idea, like we might go back on there and see if it's okay. I had a sorcerer, I got to like level 64 or something.
Oh, you're higher than me. I'm only level 30 on my sorcerer.
Oh man, well, it was taking forever because what they did when they released that patch, the debuffed the sorcerer, so you were casting chain lightning and like everything was stood there like dead. And the necromancers were always ridiculously powerful, stupidly so. I do want to get the new Mortal Kombat game. I've heard that's supposed to be pretty sick. I want to get that. I'll tell you a good one I've heard good things about. Apparently it doesn't have much content. It's Starship Troopers Extermination. That is meant to be sick, and it's not that much. I want to get that, man. The fact that you can pretty much I'm not so crazy on the whole idea of build your base routine. I'll just like, yep, I'll tell you what, I'll sit back, I'll observe, I'll motivate. You're doing a good job. You construct everything for me. Then when we're ready, I'll join the fight. I'll maybe go and have a coffee break while you put the base together. That's one thing I hate with games. People say, I'm like, no, dude, I'm not into baseball. I just want to get in there and fight and mix it up. I'm too lazy for the whole constructing and putting everything together. And one you might be interested in, both of you, is I think there's a trailer out for it. It's a first-person shooter and it's co-op. I think it's called Toxic Commandos. Possibly that's what it's called. Oh man, I hope I've got the name correct. And the trailer looked pretty sick. A bit like games like Dead Island, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love Dead Island. Yeah.
Oh man, that's so sick. I need to get the second one as well. It looked pretty good, except Back 4 Blood as well, kind of in that vein as well, with a military aspect, fighting like all these mutants, the looks of it. And I thought, man, this looks badass. But yeah, generally the same as you guys, first-person shooters, and then some action RPGs as well. And I used to play Skyrim a lot as well. I was a rogue on there, and I liked the idea of just creeping around and creeping into a city as well and doing whatever I had to do. So it was so much fun, man. But yeah, and even some of the what was the other one? Streets of Rage 4. That was pretty good. We used to play that as well, but more of a beat 'em up. But first person shooters, action RPGs is pretty much where it's at.
I agree.
I was thinking with some of the movies you mentioned as well, which is pretty much the same as you get. Event Horizon, that's a kind of an unofficial 40K movie, I thought, as well. I mean, it's like that guy kind of. Oh man, it's a classic. Sam Neill, I think, is the guy in it. It used to be on Netflix, and it was it's like the ship goes to another part of space and comes back, and you find this whole crew had gone missing. You kind of only see what's happened to them, and if I remember right, I think like in the ship's kind of log, like video footage of them. And this guy, Sam Neill, he's like the only survivor, and the dude starts cutting himself, putting all these markings on. It's literally like a Chaos Cultist from 40K. You definitely see that's what the movie was influenced in. It's like really grimy, but it's got the mix of like that horror with the gore, but it's still got the suspense there. And there's a new anime series on Netflix I've yet to watch. It's just dropped. It was made by one of the dudes who did Castlevania, and it's a cyberpunk series. I don't know the name, but it's new.
Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
That's it. I think the new. Yeah, so I've got to check that out, man.
Dude, our drummer loves that. He said that's like his favorite anime, and it even got him back into playing the Cyberpunk game. Oh, yeah, Joseph loves that shit.
Yeah, man. Some of that stuff, like we said, is so like dark and dystopian as well, and like you get into technological horror side with it. Anyway, guys, I've kept you for quite a while, and I'll keep on nerding. So what I always do when it gets to the end of the show, I'll have a chat to you briefly off air in a moment. But I always like to give guests the final say for any shout-outs, any plugs they want to do. Give them a reminder of that show you're playing next weekend as well. And we know the album drops soon as well, so let's definitely get that release date out there for folks too.
Sorry, I missed that. My wife was talking to me just now. Please, my bad.
It's all right. No problem.
My bad.
I always like to give people a final shout when it gets to the end of the show, plug anything they want to do. So definitely the show next weekend and the upcoming album as well.
Okay. I'd like to give a shout out to like all of the Washington bands, man. The whole Washington scene, you guys. If you're watching this, you guys have been fucking crushing. All of you guys have just been showing up and just busting ass, and we're happy to be a part of this scene. For the album, we cannot wait till it goes live on December 8th. So if you haven't pre-ordered it, pre-order it now. That whole thing. I'm really looking forward to the responses that we get. I think that we busted our ass on it. I think that it should be well received. And just overall, man, like, thank you guys for supporting us as long as you have. I know we're still kind of new, but thank you guys for supporting us, from the get-go, all of our EPs, all of our albums. It means so much to each and every one of us.
What about you, Caleb? Any shouts?
I guess I'll just also mirror Brian's with the local scene. Just it's cool how much heavy music we're having here, and it seems like it's just kind of recently these bands have like grouped together, like Mazeroth, Neuropsychosis, Excrescens. Like we played a handful of shows with like these same guys, and just seeing them do their art up there too, just being ridiculously heavy, and us being able to play on bills that are more scoped towards that brutal death slam rather than being thrown on with like mellow death band or like different stuff like that. So got a shout out to all of them, and
definitely, man. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I have really enjoyed it from start to finish. I've been in my element. You're welcome on the show anytime, all of you. Definitely for the next release. Would love to do a deep dive with you about that again. That would be awesome stuff. Good luck for the show next weekend as well, and good luck for the album release. Everybody support Kryptoxik Mortality. All the links to where you can check them out are in the description, including the pre-order for the new album, which I highly recommend. I shall see you all on the next episode of Fed Up. Again, thanks to both Caleb's and Brian, and to Chris and Paul for helping set this up as well. And shout out to Necrotic Gorebeast too. And thanks for coming on, guys.
Thank you for having us, man. You have a great night.
You too, guys.